voltmeter Wednesday, and then I'll have this thing all wired up and ready to go, and hopefully I can have it painted and done by the week. Wait, what day is it? It's one of those weeks where I'd rather continue working instead of stopping to make a video. But there is no rest for Tag Back, the show where every week we take a look at another blaster from the past to see what it could offer us today in the present. And I figured since I just murdered 2 of them, and I've murdered 1 in the past, and some people want to see me talk about it, we'd finally address the N-Strike Raider CS-35. If for some reason you don't know what the heck this thing is, well, you probably recognize it as this, which is the Rampage. This is the N-Strike Elite Blaster, although it looks suspiciously similar to the original blaster it was based off of, which was the Raider. And the Raider's a pretty interesting blaster. It is a reverse plungered, slam-fire magazine-fed blaster, so it doesn't really offer you a whole lot today in terms of actual competitive use, but obviously it has something that makes it worthwhile, and that's, well, to put it short, it's a great parts hog. And I don't call it that because it comes with 2 really cool attachments, but I call it that because the base blaster here has a lot of materials that you could use for other projects. It's a very important blaster in that regard, but today it's really not worth modifying to kick it up a notch when you could just get, you know, a Rampage and it's the same shell but with better internals. Yeah, if you come across something like the clear version or the gear up version, then you might want to take Rampage internals and put in this thing, but trying to get one of these things to shoot really good, you can buy an Orange ModWorks kit for them, but it is a reverse plungered blaster. It's never going to hit very good ranges. You're better off just buying a Rampage. Then again, this thing still has parts you can use. We'll talk about the base function first of all. It's got a pistol grip on the front here that is a pump action because it's a pump action rifle. Push it down, push it forward, pull the trigger, fires a dart. Not all that well because it's reverse plungered, it's an old N-Strike blaster, but you get it. However, it comes with a 35 round dart drum, and then this really, really nice adjustable stock on the end of it, which has been a mainstay with pretty much anybody who's ever done Nerf and managed to come across one of these things, and is universally acclaimed as one of the best stocks ever made. It's just super comfortable, and it offers you that really cool tactical feature. It kind of reminds you of like an M4 carbine stock or something like that. It's a very, very nice adjustable stock, although it can kind of lock into place in the middle. It's got a notch for it, but yeah, it really doesn't work all that well. I guess like that if you wanted to. It's cool, and, well, it's something that you hope to find at a thrift store, and I've found all too often. A very, very good piece. And then you've got the drum, which is one of the highest capacity drums you could possibly get for Nerf. And this thing is the reason why we have that. It was only sold, as far as I can remember, with the Raider, which is why it's called the Raider CS-35. And this thing is huge. It is massive. It is really, really terrible in pretty much every other blaster you try to put it in. The reasoning for that is that the springs in these things, well, they have to be kind of beefy because it's trying to push 35 darts, and the reason why this thing works with it is because it's feeding in from the side. The drum isn't really fighting gravity all that much. However, when you try to stick it in something that feeds vertically, well, then you run into some problems, and I'm guessing one of the reasons why they originally designed this thing to be in this configuration with the magazine sticking out the side is because having this here, then with the pump action, and it would just be very, very, very busy. One of the reasons why they probably put out the Alpha Trooper a little while after this. But that comes back to the drum. A lot of people try to run these things in like HVD and stuff, because why not? It's a removable 35 round capacity thing, and well, if you can tell, if just looking at it, well, it's meant to be going like this, and that's because, again, these don't have to fight gravity when they're in this configuration, and they feed a lot more reliably. But if you try to run this in your, you know, Alpha Trooper, your Rapid Strike and stuff like that, you're gonna have a whole bunch of problems, a whole bunch of failures to feed, and it's gonna be a very, very annoying experience. Most of the time you find these, even to get them to work at all, you have to first take them apart, take out the springs, clean everything. There's a lot of dart dust and stuff in them, and it's just a hassle. I don't ever really recommend you use one of these unless you have a good one. Your blaster hopefully feeds from like the side or something like that if you're using this on a Rampage and whatnot. And this is your starting, what you start your blaster with, and then you immediately ditch and start using your 18-round stick mags. So that's the attachments, but what more could we possibly get from this that would be useful? Well, you gotta be inventive, and that's where the Magwell comes in. It's one of my favorite pieces. You've seen me use it in some projects before, like the Death Stinger, but you remove this part, which is originally off the blaster when it comes in the box. You actually have to stick it on there, and it's meant to never come off again, but you can get it off if you take the entire blaster apart, because then you can make something that's not magazine fed, magazine fed. Very, very important. If people were using them in barricades to make those into kind of proto-strifes and whatnot, then we have people shoving them into things like the Vulcan to make those magazine. It's just an amazingly versatile part that's really easy to integrate into pretty much anything, and I've used quite a few of them. A lot. And then, of course, not least, we've got the pump action grip up here, which is really easy to take off, and if you need to put a grip on something, it's a really easy way of doing that. It is extremely comfortable. The entire blaster itself is extremely comfortable, but for like 5 screws, you can get yourself a new grip to put on something. People put these on all sorts of blasters, some that don't have, like the Alpha Trooper, which doesn't have this kind of grip. It has some kind of really, really short shotgun prime thing. Well, these work a little bit better in my opinion, so people have been doing that for a long time. People use them as foregrips on barrels and all that kind of stuff. It's a really nice part to have, and you're not going to be using this thing all that much, so why the heck not? But that's not all. If you take the inside of the blaster, you get a really, really long barrel right here, because of course the blaster is feeding from all the way back here to the front. There is no front attachment point, unfortunately, but there is a stock attachment point, because of course it comes with stock. A really nice long barrel that you can use on a variety of projects makes this whole thing kinda useful. But if you did want to mod it, or maybe mod your Rampage, because I don't really see a reason to talk about the Rampage right now when we talked about this thing, there's one cool mod that I really like about this, and that is the Raider pistol mod, where you basically cut this entire part off and you have yourself something that looks like it's from Fallout. A cool modification that you can do. It's not the most practical, but it does kind of turn into a bolt pistol kind of thing that's magazine fed, and people seem to like them. You can also change the magazine well to be on the other side if you so choose with some heavy modification. There are some cool things you can do with this, and people have modified the drums. You know, if you want to have it symmetrical, you can just flip it around. People have done that kind of stuff. There's a lot to pull from the Raider itself, but again, as a base blaster, I can't really recommend you running out there and spending the time and materials to try to get this thing up and running. I mean, every single, like buying the blaster and then buying all the parts and stuff, just find one of these. And it's kind of weird because the Rampage itself came with far less, for probably more money than the Raider when it came out. This came with a 25-round drum, which has been in a lot of different things, like the Rhino Fire and now the Hyper Fire, but it didn't come with the stock. Even though the shell is nearly identical, some paint markings, it's actually really hard to tell sometimes if you find one of these, if it's immediately this or if it's one of these, which is far better. But it's like this is better. It's direct plunger. It's far superior to your... I don't know why you would ever try to make one of these better. Use it for parts. That's the whole point of Tag Back, is try to educate you on what stuff you should have and what you could use it for. This is one of those things where it's a great blaster for all of the wrong reasons. It's a parts hog. You are meant to pull it apart, take stuff off of it, and use it in far better projects. You know, it always kind of bothered me, this and like the Retaliator and Recon and stuff like that, have like the single dart storage in the grip. It's magazine fed, and it's really hard to feed that dart in there any other way, like manually load it, so what the heck is the point with that? Just abuse it for parts, don't bother trying to upgrade it. Kind of a simple thing. It's something you should keep a lookout for if you find them on Craigslist or your friends selling them, garage sales, you know, thrift stores and stuff like that, but not for the reasons you would probably expect. Hopefully this curbs the everyday question you see all the time on like Reddit and Nerf Modders Welcome and stuff like that, where it's like, hey, I thought a Raider, how do I make it good? You make it good by pulling it apart and using the parts of it in other projects. Let me know what you think about the Raider down in the comment boxes below. Did I nail it? Did I fail it? I'm sure you'll let me know either way, but please let me know down in the comment boxes below. And if you want to see some more episodes of Tag Back, here are 2 more videos right here that you can click on, or you can find the entire playlist down in the comment boxes below. or a card on mobile, like right now. Again, I have no idea if those cards do anything, and they're kind of a pain to set up, but whatever. I'm Walcom S7, thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you like the Raider, and if you want to see some more stuff like this in the future. And other than that, I hope to see you in an entirely different video. I'm gonna get back to work. I want this thing done by the weekend.